Okay, hello everybody, welcome along to the lesson for today. Put this little video together just to talk you through exactly what I'm looking for. So this is going to be similar to other ones I've done before where you just need to pause it in places and I'll give you an extra little bit of guidance. And I won't take too long on this one, it should take no more than 5 minutes. Plus a little bit of pausing for you, but let's get going. First thing I want you to do is really a watchword for the lesson is inspiration. And actually you can pause this video in a second just for a few moments and decide, how would you define inspiration? What is an inspiration? So just pause for a second. How would you answer that? An inspiration, therefore, connotations really positive, aren't they? Something which makes you want to do something positive, something which fills you with sort of hope and fills you with ambition. And of course, it comes from the word inspire. And then what have we got next on my next slide? Well, what I want to do is who all these statements describe? Now, you'll definitely need to pause this slide in a minute just to read through. It's a bit of a puzzle. You might be able to work it out really quickly. It might take a little bit longer, but once they've appeared on the slide, I'll go quiet for a minute and just give you a chance to have a little think. So I'm going to make them all appear, I think, just because then you can pause yourself. Right, scan your eye down. I think that's all of them. Scan your eye down through all of those. Pause this video for a moment. And I'm sure many of you have worked out already, if I hadn't already revealed it anyway. But we are talking about, of course, Captain Sir Tom Moore, as he is now. He's an honorary colonel as well. But the man who has certainly over the last year really helped bring the country together just because of his efforts, the fact that he isn't letting age be a barrier. I mean, what an incredible bloke. He really has been a sort of a ray of sunshine, to use a metaphor, a ray of sunshine in some very dark times. And of course, sadly, the news this week, as I'm sure you hasn't escaped you, that he did pass away. What day was it? Wednesday. So sad, very sad, but also nevertheless a strong inspiration for us for the things he achieved. Now I'm just going to go quiet for a few seconds, just have a quick read of the information on the screen there. And there isn't a video embedded into the slides which are on Show My Homework as well. But yes, there he is. What a set of achievements. What else can you say about the guy, really? You know, having a number one single when you're 100 years old, but more importantly, the millions and millions of pounds that he raised for the NHS during those times, because he pushed himself and didn't let age be a barrier. And he had a lovely quote, I don't think I've seen it there, but about how, you know, sunshine will return to our lives again and to stay positive. This is, of course, a guy who's lived through a world war, so I think we should listen to him. Now, what I've got coming up, I don't want to actually play that video, so excuse me. I was going to ask, who's inspired you? And this is the building up towards the task, really. So you're welcome to pause this slide in a second and just make down some bullet point ideas, because that will help you shortly. There is some writing coming up in today's lesson. But think about someone who's inspired you, as it says there, had a positive impact on your life. Is it a relative, maybe? Maybe it's a sports person. It could be a friend who's been really, really supportive in some way. Perhaps it's a celebrity who's had a positive impact on your life. Somebody from history, perhaps. Could even be a teacher. And the questions are, well, what have they done? And in what ways have they inspired you? What impact has this had on you or on other people? And finally, what lessons do you think you've learned from this person? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go quiet for a few seconds again. I'd strongly encourage you to bullet point down some thoughts on that, because you are going to do a writing piece very shortly. Okay, so make sure you pause that video before I show you the final activity for today. The big one, the main focus. And as it says at the top box, let's do that one first. This is the main task, and I look forward to reading your responses. I'd like this to represent, please, it should be at least 25 minutes of writing. If you've been pausing this video as you go along, that will have taken some time of the lesson already, but take time to do this well, please. So let's read through it. Write about someone who has inspired you. Now, that's what the activity previous to this one was all about, getting you ready for that. You can simply write about them, so just open writing, free writing, if you like, with no necessarily structure as such. As in, by structure, I mean no form like a speech or a letter. Alternatively, you could write a letter to them. Doesn't matter if they're alive or dead. You can still take the idea that you'd be able to write your thoughts to them, or it could be an open letter about them. An open letter is something which is published often in like newspapers, where somebody just expresses their their thoughts openly for other people to read, which is what you mean by an open letter. As it says there, it's up to you. I'm not so worried about the form, although I wanted to have a form. I'm more interested in you putting your thoughts down on paper and crafting them down on paper for me. So the first bullet point says, with more bullet points, you could include, so here's some ideas to follow, because some people just go, well, I don't know what to write. How about some background information about them? It says like there, like a mini biography. Please don't make it a copy and paste job, but use the internet to support you maybe, but build in a few useful bits of information. Second bullet point, information about the things they have overcome or the challenges that they have faced in their life. It depends how much you know about them, of course, but explain to me. How and why you've been influenced or affected by them. Could you pinpoint down any moments which have really caused the inspiration? And why you think they're a good role model for others and what you've learned from them is a very positive way of rounding off. So we always talk about structure in English. Those 4 bullet points are quite useful in the way that they are in order. So you set the background up so then everyone knows what you're talking about. Then you build in the idea of the challenges. Then it's more positive about what's influenced you and why you think they're a good role model is a very positive ending. Remember, as it says at the bottom, please craft your writing. There should be clear paragraphs. None of us should be at a point now where we're not writing in obvious paragraphs. Using a range of sentences, of course, different types. The vocabulary, of course, be aware of your vocabulary. Sometimes it's easy just to slip into your own style, your own mode of writing, as I would say, which doesn't necessarily think about, are you really challenging your vocabulary? And also methods and techniques. Repetition would be a real friend to you here as well. Definitely repetition, maybe some anaphora as well. But above all, guys, let's see you crafting, as I've said before, those ideas, crafting them down onto your paper, please. I look forward to what you're able to achieve. As I say, it should be at least 25 minutes is the minimum here. So you're going to want to set a timer or look at a watch or a clock in a minute and set yourself that. And otherwise, I'm going to stop talking now and say I very much look forward to receiving your writing and reading them a little bit later. And I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Goodbye for now.